Felicitations! It is me, Felicia Day, and this is my podcast, you guys. Welcome! Welcome to my world. What's up? Well, today is an okay day, but it feels like a Friday that was the end of the poopiest week. Not really the poopiest week. It was a week of strife and drama and fatigue. I have a couple of ranty things to talk about. And if you follow my Twitter, you kind of probably know what I'm going to talk about. It is pretty apparent from what I've been saying on social media, although I actually have been deleting, in retrospect, some of the things I said because my mom was like, "You're ranting like a crazy person." And I'm like, first of all, why are you checking my @replies? Second of all, you're probably right. Anywho, before we get into that, I'm going to ask you guys to please, if you have a question that you would like me to address or answer or talk about here on the podcast, please put it in the SoundCloud notes underneath the current podcast, or go at Felicia Day, ask me the question, and then use #felicitations because Sean Sandalooky has volunteered to help me corral things so I don't miss people's questions. I will get to your question. Maybe. I mean, some of them I won't answer because I don't want to. It's my podcast. So it was a full moon this weekend. And if you guys would like to Google something, and I'm not into astronomy. Sometimes I'll just use Mercury in retrograde as an excuse that I did something weird. But in general, I understand that astrology has no scientific basis. But there was a full moon this weekend, and if you are to look it up, full moons do affect your sleep patterns. There are a lot of actual scientific studies that somehow, I don't know, I didn't actually read enough of the article. I didn't read enough of the article to be able to recite the science of it. I did read it. I can't regurgitate it well enough. But anyway, the reason why I bring it up is that I was supposed to have a couple of baby meetups on Sunday with babies because I'm trying to socialize my baby like a good mom would. And she wouldn't refuse to take a nap that day on Sunday. 2 other babies, separate babies, don't know each other unless they're texting each other behind my back, which I would not doubt. But they do skip their naps. And usually babies don't skip naps. They both, I guess, fell asleep around 4, which is a nightmare. You know, you don't want anything past 3 o'clock or they're going to be up until 9, which means you have no evening, which basically has been my life for 3 weeks. So it's bad. Anyway, but Sunday was particularly egregious. And so at 2:30, I was like, I can't. Oh, no, it was 4:30. I was like, I don't know what's going on. She's crazy. I'm going to take her to the mall and go to Container Store because I wanted some baskets. And I had a sticky note with some measurements on it in my pocket. And then I got so mad because I washed my jeans and then I had to remeasure because the Post-it note, it got washed away. So I was like, I got to get these baskets now because I wrote it down twice. I don't want to do this thing again where I wash the Post-it note, which is, I find so much money in my pockets, guys, when I do my laundry. It's such a reward. It's like doing a game show. What's going to come out of there? $22. Anyway, and then I get to the mall. She fell asleep in the car, and then I forgot the stroller. So I'm like, I can't go to the mall because I can't tote her around and carry my purse and shop. I have no way to carry her. She's huge. She's like 24 pounds. It's like a kettlebell that's squishy and adorable. So that was annoying. And then I got home and tried to move her out of the car, and then she woke up and she tried to get to sleep by nursing for another 45 minutes. And I'm like chapped, and I'm like, nope. And then she wouldn't go back to bed, and she was a nightmare for the rest of the day. Parenthood! Anywho, so, and then I didn't sleep that night either, because I think it was ... the science of the moon. Anyway, look it up. In addition, that same day where I was so upset and strung out, and I'm not using my platform, and this is what I did that I want to apologize for. I became one of those quote-unquote well-known people to complain about a company publicly so that I would get their attention and they would solve my problem faster than the average person. I abused my authority and power. And I'm not particularly proud of it. The only time I've ever done that before was with American Airlines, or no, it was with Air Canada, and they broke my stroller and they refused to give me my money back. But that was justifiable because it was like, that was expensive stroller and they were stringing me along and I did all the homework. Anyway, whatever. So a month and a half ago, ordered this thing to put the TV on because the other one, it's a little bit dangerous because I got glass on it and I just didn't want Calliope to like fall and cut her lip, or I don't know. So I ordered this really nice one on CB2, which I love CB2. It's like less expensive than Crate & Barrel, and it is a little more modern looking. And I don't know, it has some funky stuff I really like. So I ordered this thing a month and a half ago, and it was supposed to be delivered within 5 to 7 business days, according to the website. Cut to, they call me April 10th, and they're like, we could schedule you. I scheduled it for April 12th. Then they call at the last minute, an hour after they're supposed to deliver it, and they're like, hey, sorry, we're not going to show up. Because it wasn't in our warehouse. I'm like, what? Okay. That was weird. But I'm like, okay, just call me when it's there. They said it should be a couple days. Like 10 days later, or not 10 days. What was it? Like they call me like a week later and it arrived. I'm like, well, if it was supposed to be there the next day, what's going on? Whatever. It's like tour in the Southwest. So they finally get it in. They scheduled me for the 23rd, which was Sunday. Oh no, that's Thursday. Get your story straight, Day. So they schedule it for last Thursday between 1 and 3. And I, have to block out the time because I need to be there. And they call the 21st, Tuesday. Now I'm like setting forth my argument like Perry Mason. 07:35 on a Tuesday, I received a voicemail by a woman named Debbie. I don't know what her name was. Anyway, so they confirmed it on the 21st. And I was like, great. So I definitely have to keep that time open. Sat around for 2 hours. At 2 o'clock, when they were supposed to be delivering between 1 and 3, I get a call. Hey, I'm a supervisor. Looks like the truck left and didn't put the piece of furniture on the truck. I'm like, okay, you could have told me earlier, but okay. And she's like, I'm looking at the piece right now, and I'm going to put it on the truck, and you could have it tomorrow. Is that good? I was like, I can't do tomorrow. I have meetings all day. The soonest I can do is Sunday. So I'm like, okay, great. 1 to 3 Sunday. She goes away, puts me on hold for like 5 minutes. She's like, you are scheduled. It's going to be there Sunday from 1 to 3. I'm sorry. She was very polite. And I was like, great. I'm in good hands. She scheduled me. These are people from like the delivery service. So I'm like, great. Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, I call because I'm like, okay, let me just double check because they did not call me the night before to confirm. I'm just, I talked to a supervisor. It's going to be here. The woman on the phone, I was like, hey, here's my name, and I have a delivery to this address between 1 and 3. She goes away. 30 seconds later, she's like, yep, you're taken care of. You're going to be there. I'm not joking. I'm like, great. 1 to 3, I'll be here. Cancel the one. I moved the one baby thing, and the other one got canceled. They were supposed to come over, blah, blah, blah. So 3:30 comes about, and I'm like, I call the number, and I'm like, where is my stuff? This very nice woman, it's like, I don't see any notes in your file that there was any delivery scheduled today. I'm like, what? Suddenly, there's a vast conspiracy theory around this Crate & Barrel credenza. The credenza. What happened to it? So I don't, guys. If you look at one of my old podcasts, the picture of the credenza is actually on there. I think, which is weird. Is it? Oh, guys, I'm losing my brain. Anywho, I remember doing a graphic with credenza'd on it, but maybe that was just me. If it is, yes. If it isn't, I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. So anyway, I'm livid. And of course, I know this is the problem with retail, that you get a big company, want to yell. But I understand this nice woman that I'm talking to who is a innocent bystander in this. It's not her fault. So I always am like, I'm sorry if I sound frustrated, but this is crazy. Like I talked to somebody this morning who assured me that it was on the thing. What was her name? I don't get everybody's name. By the way, always get everybody's name. And I was like, I don't know her name. She said, I have a phone record. I can take a screenshot of you. I'm trying to now, it feels like I'm like a cop and I'm trying to be like, I was not murdering that person. I was here. So I get so mad at this woman. I'm like, can I please talk to somebody? She's like, I can give you the name, a number of I can transfer you to, CB2. I was like, great, transfer me. And then 2 minutes later, she's like, I didn't say I could transfer you. I'm like, you told me you could Then now I'm being gaslit. So I start, while I'm on hold with this woman, I start just rage tweeting CB2 like, hey, is it normal for you to never show up? Hey, I feel like I'm being gaslit by your company. By the way, I've been on hold for 15 minutes. And I just start razzing them. Now I'm replying them, so it's not going public, but I did do one public thing is it your policy? And it was really bitchy. I will admit it. But at this point, I'm literally in a rage. The baby will not sleep. This is right before she won't sleep, and she's crazy. She's like running around with like scissors, and I'm like, that's just don't run with them. Go ahead and cut something. I don't care. So finally, I think because of my rage tweeting, a poor woman who obviously works in social media calls me and is in a panic. And she's like, I saw your tweets. Oh, God. I saw your tweets and I'm so sorry. And she is so nice. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then literally while I'm on the phone, I'm like going on my desktop and deleting them because I'm just, I was just snarky and I just kept tweeting them. It wasn't like, I didn't use profanity. I was like, and I was kind of like talking to some people who saw me going like, oh, that's so frustrating. And I'm like, anyway, I don't know. So I'm personifying this company that is screwing me over justifiably. Like 6 hours of my life have been ruined. And this credenza is now going to be delivered on Friday because of this lovely lady. But ultimately, I am powerless because the system that they have implemented is responsible for this craziness. And yet none of the people I'm talking to individually really share responsibility. And that's the frustration of like having an issue. I remember there was a banking issue for a long time ago. And I just went through this hell with health insurance and the baby's, health insurance. And they were like, oh no, you got to call this person. You got to call this person. You call this person. And I'm like, I can't yell at anyone because it's not your fault as a person. So I feel bad for anybody who works in retail. Because I don't know, there's nobody responsible. You can't, Mr. CB2 doesn't live down the lane and you could be like knocking on his door. There's not people. They're just vast entities that are just this squiggly, like, it's like a snot ball. You can't punch it. If you punch it, there's a person inside the snot ball. And it's like, ow, I'm not the snot ball. I'm in the snot ball. That was a horrible analogy. I am losing it. Anyway, so I'm getting my credenza Friday. And I'm not even in town. I had to arrange for somebody to be here to get the credenza. And it's going to be beautiful. And thank you to the ladies who helped me. And to the one lady who lied to me on Sunday morning, I curse you. I hope that the next time you squeeze some ketchup, it just splatters on on the plate. And then it like hits you in the face and you get a little ketchup up your nose. And then all day you smell ketchup. And it's annoying. That's my curse. Anyway, that happened. And then today, another thing like that happened because I had a meeting and I lost my parking ticket. And normally you just like, you pay, you get there and there's a person there. Well, this was a huge parking structure and it had like 7 exits, no people in sight. So I went around, it took me 10 minutes just to drive around the parking garage at 5 miles per hour over all the bumps, surveying every exit to see if there was like an actual human working there. Nobody. So I had to stop somebody and be like, hey, how do I get out? Let me out. I don't want to live here. And they were like, oh, there's a parking office. So I had to go opposite side into this creepy dark corner where they were like, it's going to be $40. I'm like, what? $40 to park? I was like, no. I had a meeting here and I got validated. They're like, okay. And they went and conferred and they were like, okay, here is a blank ticket. You got to go back upstairs to get it validated. So I had to drive to the other side of the parking lot and go to the 5th floor through security to get a validation. So I don't know what's going on today or this week or forever. A lot of things to complain about. Hey, that's it. That's all I can complain about. It's enough. I went back to Spanish class this week. I had 3 weeks off, and it's amazing that you can forget pretty much everything in 3 weeks. It was the saddest Spanish class ever, you guys. And we had been on a roll. There's 4 people total in the Spanish class. We're doing like a semi-private, which is cool. And my friend is in it, and she has already taken Spanish a long time. One of the people organizing it is brand new to Spanish, and then the other one is kind of like more advanced than all of us. And so, but we're having a great time. We have a really good teacher, and it's fun, but we skipped 3 weeks, and all of us became dunces. I'm not kidding. I have been doing Duolingo, but of course, after I lost my 23-day streak, I got really depressed, to be honest with you. I was like, wow, I thought I accomplished something in life. And so I haven't been really good. I've been doing it like every other day, so no streak whatsoever. Duolingo is a language app, not sponsored by. I enjoy it. I learn, at least keep up with class. 1 hour a week does not a language make, but doing it every night helps a little bit to not be a complete ignoramus when I go back to class, except after 3 weeks, I was a complete ignoramus. And then, when you're conversing with somebody in a language, it's twice as difficult as just like reading it or doing it on an app, because you're being put on the spot and you have another human staring at you and you feel like, they're judging everything I'm doing. My accent is terrible. Por favor, donde está el hotel? I mean, you just think you're just the worst. And you become more nervous, and therefore your neural synapses are panicking. And when you panic, you can't remember anything, including your own language, and much less another language you don't even know that well. So it got to the point where we did like this Jeopardy-like game, and all of us were like in the negatives, and we were just like, let's go home, please. So I really feel like the lesson here is just do something for yourself, because even that 1 hour of like mortification was really fun, because I got out of the house and I'm doing something that has nothing to do with my work, and I'm seeing other people who I like. So that's my week, guys. That's all I did. Oh, wait. Another thing I started doing this week with Calliope was doing nursery rhymes. And I don't know about you guys and nursery rhymes, but I haven't looked at them in a while. And I have to say, I have had to do a lot of rewriting with nursery rhymes, because, guys, these are not good. These are not appropriate for children. I mean, every single one I'm doing a rewrite on, like Hushabye Baby, on the treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. Okay, we're good. So when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. What? And down will come baby and cradle and all. Okay, I read that, and suddenly she's like really concerned about the baby. Calliope's like, I'm like, oh, are you concerned about that baby? And because we're talking a lot about, so it's a weird coincidence, because I got her a little doctor kit with a little stethoscope and a little plunge, like a syringe, and it has an ear examiner and a blood pressure cuff. And what I thought it was a fun game, like, oh no, your donkey got a bonk on the head, and let's, Dr. Calliope's gonna fix the bonk on the head. And she found these Band-Aids in like a drawer. And so anytime she's like slightly injured, she needs a Band-Aid or she needs a cold pack on her head. So like we're already in a space of like injury. And so picking nursery rhymes to happen now was like the worst, because this child fell out of a tree. And there's a picture of a child tied on a tree with a very flimsy sort of bow. And I'm like, no, it bounces. It bounces, yeah. The cradle is bouncy. That's a bouncy. It's a bouncy house. Yeah, that's it. Here's another one. Bye-bye baby bunting. Daddy's gone a-hunting to get a little rabbit skin to wrap his baby bunting in. Oh, I don't know why. The rabbit's going to lend them the skin. Yeah, the rabbit just takes his skin off. There's a picture of a baby with a genuine rabbit like outfit on that looks like you actually skinned a rabbit. And I'm like, no, the rabbit's fine. The rabbit will get its ears back later. God, they're just, literally all of them. Humpty Dumpty was the one that I really had to retcon, because she really got concerned about the Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. She started sobbing, you guys, and she kept pointing to, there's a picture of Humpty like on the edge of a brick wall. And I'm like, don't do it, Humpty. Don't jump. So I had to change it to Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Dr. Calliope looked at his owie. She put Penguin on his bonk and said, Humpty, go to bed. We have this little cold pack that has a penguin on it. So I had to do a rewrite. I had to do a lot of rewrites, like Jack and Jill going up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack tripped and went owie, and then rolled really fun right down the hall, down the hill. And Jill ran after him, and they were playing hide and seek. I can't say that they was good rewrites, but I don't know. Just literally every single one I had to do. There's a picture. I wish I could just show you. I'm taking all these from this Childcraft book that I had as a child, and they're really cool illustrations, but there's a woman, like Three Blind Mice. There's a woman with like the sharpest knife in her hand looking at the mice, and she's like, she's really upset about the mice. And there's a lot of things about hunting and just violence happening to children and animals. And I'm like, this is insane. I don't know if I can do any of this again. That's what's going on. Okay, let's do a couple of Podcast questions. Hashtag felicitations. Let's see. Gritty Films has one that I have not, like a month ago, asked. Hey, Felicia Day, you mentioned an elimination diet in one of your podcast episodes, but I didn't write it down because I was I'll never actually do that, but now I'm thinking I might, and I can't find it. Can you, or a helpful fan, help me out? Hashtag Felicia Day. Yeah, it was called the Panchakarma, and it's a whole Indian Ayurvedic process where you do a cleanse and all the, remember I talked about the butt stuff? Don't do that if you don't want to. Go to a practitioner if you would like to do that kind of thing. Don't do it on your own, I would think. But basically, there's a thing called Khichdi. It's like a mix of great yellow lentils and rice and awesome spices, and you're supposed to do it with ghee, and then you could put some kale and vegetables with it. And basically, that's what I ate for 2 weeks. And then I slowly started adding stuff back into my diet, like every 2 days, to see if anything gave me acid reflux or a stomachache. And I discovered sugar and green peppers and avocados were horrible on me, and I never knew. Those were things that weren't necessarily trigger foods that I had identified before. And it really helps to avoid those things. I can't say that I will ever be able to avoid sugar, but I don't know. Anyway, that was my answer for that, Gritty. And also, if you go to a nutritionist, they will help you craft a healthy elimination diet because, if you mess with your body, you could do bad things. And I don't want to give any medical advice to anyone without you guys consulting your physician and or going the distance to maybe go to a nutritionist to do a very supervised elimination diet, because they can help you identify things like eggs, or they can even do blood tests and things like that. And it's really worth exploring because you might just be allergic to something that you just don't know about. So I urge you, if you have some issues that are health related that you just don't seem to be able to beat, seek some help. And if you want to do maybe just like a week of substituting a meal for rice and lentils, I don't know, I probably won't hurt you, but don't sue me because I'm not a doctor. All right. Last question, because we're actually, I ranted a lot. We're out of time. What are your top 3 go-to restaurants in LA? Same for dessert eateries. Oh boy. User 5068928. So one of my favorite restaurants is Republique. It is a French place, and it has the best pastries I've ever been in my body. They are incredible. The dinner is amazing. They have like whole chickens that you can get. It's like new French. It's not stuffy. It's just this hip place. The cocktails are amazing. When I had cocktails, I love them. One of my other favorite places is, I love the Grand Central Market downtown because there's all these stalls of incredible food that are just, every single thing from falafel, gourmet falafel, to porridge, to, dessert, to fruit. It's just egg sandwiches, just gourmet everything with these hip little stands, and it's always changing. The Thai food there is incredible. I also love this place called Bestia. It is an Italian place downtown in this weird area that you definitely don't want to go to. Just go to the restaurant and leave. Although now it's hipster, but it's incredible. Their food and their desserts are both good. I don't want dessert eateries. They don't need to be separate because Republique and Bestia definitely have some of the best desserts in town. I also love, I'm trying to think of like just a taco place that I really, really love. Tito's Tacos on the west side is really good. And I really love Escuela Tacos in Mid-City. And Trejo's Tacos are really great too. And even El Cholo, which is like, it's been open since 1929 with enchiladas and stuff like that. It is really incredible. It's like old school, you know what I'm saying? So those are my favorite. I really love Thai food, and Thai Town is just this awesome place where you can go and get like sticky rice with mango, which is my favorite dessert. And the great thing about LA is that we have everything here. We have everybody. We are exposed to everything. Everybody is here just like melting together in a pot. Whoa, dude. And the best part about that is the food. I just love the food. I couldn't live in a city that didn't have a diverse food culture, or just diverse culture, because we learn so much from each other the way that we are different. And I think that's pretty awesome. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to be out of town. So next week is definitely a no on the podcast. And after that, I don't know if I'll be able to update the week after. I actually think I'll be out for 2 weeks. If I can do something on the road, I will try, but I can't promise you because with the baby, I'm in a hotel room and I can't actually talk into a microphone around her because she's sleeping and I'm in a hotel room. Please subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud. Follow. Please rate the podcast on iTunes if you could. 5-star ratings really help us. If you don't feel 5 stars, don't do it. Anyway, all right, I hope you guys have a good week. I don't have any planned stuff to consume, but I'm sure I will consume stuff and be able to report back to you later. I will see you guys at Dragon Con this weekend. I will also see some of you at Rose City, and maybe I'll see you around when I walk around the town up in Canada. Okay, talk to you later, guys. Bye.